Okay, so here we have our bomber jacket that we're going to make today. It's just a really basic style, has a zip up front, rib around the hem with these little tabs here, which you'll see on probably about half of the bombers that are made. Rib around the sleeve hems, way going around the back. You'll see here that the sleeve, like there's quite a lot of drape here under the sleeve, and that just means that it's a more casual shape, so it has a flatter sleeve head, which is why you get more drag lines here. But it's really, it's a casual jacket, so that's why that happens. With the neckline here, when I made the pattern, I actually dropped the neck away to make space for the ribbing, and that hasn't worked very well. And I think the thing with this is that because it's such a basic style, really most of the design of the jacket is going to go into that neckline and how high it is, how close it sits to the neckline. The rib around the hem and the cuff has worked quite well. But this rib around the neck would need to be reduced some more too. So that's, even if you had to retwile, like the neckline section to get that working well, that would probably be a good idea if you're happy with the rest of the garment. So zip front, actually you'll notice on the zip too that it doesn't go right to the edge. It's about a 0.5 gap at the hem and about the same at the top. So always remember to give yourself a little bit of room at the top and the bottom of the zip. Otherwise, it'll go. It won't be good. And then it's a line jacket. So we've got a decent sized facing there, and lining. The center back lining doesn't have any pleat in it because it's a casual jacket. It's quite wide across the back anyway, so I didn't bother to put a pleat into the center back. Potentially you could, if you wanted to, make the front facing wider at the shoulder and actually have a fabric facing around the back neck that you could attach your label to, and that would just give a little bit more support. With wear, because this is just a single layer of lining, that's probably where it's going to wear around the back neck. So if you're wanting to make something a bit more robust, I have to put a facing around the back neck. And so there you are. Okay, so we have our pieces here for the lined bomber jacket sample that I'm going to make, and I'll go through them. So just a regular one-piece sleeve with no detail. It could have panels in it, but they're all design choices. This is just the basic model. We have our rib that's going to go around the hem of the sleeve, so that'll be folded in half and stretched on there, so it'll just bring the bottom of the sleeve in slightly around the wrist. It's our front facing. Our fronts, so these are fully interfaced. This is the right side, that's why they're white. Our front facing here, and a zip. So we've got a zip going down the center front, and the zip extends into this little hem panel here, which will sit there, and the hem rib gets stitched on to this panel as well. So this rib will go to the side seam and then go around to the center back on our back panel piece, which again has no details, just a basic block shape really. Just back here for a tick, we've got our rib, our neck rib. So this will go around the neck here. So once the zip's in place, this will get sewn and stretched around the neck of the jacket and around the back neck around to the other side. The ribs are all reduced by 20%. That's a good starting point when you're doing your toiles. Depending on the fabrication of the jacket and the quality of the rib, you might actually need to make that smaller, but that's something you find out as you're toiling. Our sleeve lining here, so again just a basic sleeve shape, nothing fancy about that. Our front lining, and the lining joins onto this edge here, sews onto the front facing to finish off the front, and then our back lining, which again is just a block shape. There's nothing tricky about that, and they're all the pieces that we're using to create our lined bomber.